Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Simon Zhen, Senior Research Analyst at MyBankTracker.com to discuss the personal financial factors of the U.S. presidential election that matter most. Patrick, welcome to Trade Talks. And based on MyBankTracker.com and research, how did men and women respond when it came to their presidential vote on finances, and what was the biggest influence on those factors?
When it came to gender, more men than women felt that personal finances were less of an impact on their presidential vote, about 45% versus 37% women. But for the most part, about 60% of Americans said they wouldn't rely on financial impact when it came to choosing the next president. And when if we pressed on about which financial issues mattered to them the most, the one that stood at the top was economic growth. But when we also look at the other factors, actually what was surprising is that the least impactful factor was the job market, which was surprising given that COVID has hit the employment rate really hard. And we would think that jobs would be on the top of mind. And that was a big find.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising. So before COVID-19, how did their finances fare?
About half of Americans said their finances didn't change too significantly in the current administration, but there was a good 36% who did said that their finances actually improved.
And which candidate causes the least amount of financial anxiety, breaking it down by age and also by demographic?
By age, for those under about 44 and under, they favored Biden as the candidate who would cause them the least financial stress. Whereas for those 45 and older, believe that Trump would cause them the least financial stress.
And finally, if you break it down further by political party.
If we broke it down by political party, it was probably not too surprising on that end. 80%, more than 80% felt Biden. More than 80% of Democratic respondents felt that Biden would cause them the least financial stress, whereas 82% of Republican respondents felt that Trump would cause them the least financial stress. But it is surprising that there is still a large percentage, when you think about it, that who would not specifically say that the presidential candidate representing their political party would cause them the least financial stress.
Yeah, 20% is still a pretty significant number, isn't it?
Right.
All right, Simon, thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you.
You got it. And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.